when the world has lost all meaning, and rules are something long since forgotten. Just how can mankind survive when order has become chaos? Food, clothing, water, even shelter are no longer a certainty. The only guarantees are fight or die. Oh yeah, and car doors can still be closed. Welcome ladies and gentlemen to another video, this time with the long-awaited, much-anticipated The Division from Ubisoft. Yes, believe it or not, we are actually playing the game that seems to have been in development longer than a Kanye West acceptance speech. Nearly. With the beta launching today for Xbox One owners, it has enabled many to get an early taste of its vast Manhattan quarantine zone, persistent world, risk and reward dark zone, and co-op team-based action for themselves. This is what you're seeing here from my first few hours of the latest beta in full flow, and it offers up one of the most realistic depictions of a post-outbreak city deep within the Big Apple. This is not a detailed look at the game, as I will cover that in more detail along with looks at both the PS4 version and PC release over the weekend as they become available to us from tomorrow, or today now that the video is up. Instead, here I will touch on the game and visuals along with performance after some early examples of what the game and beta has to offer. The first thing is the game seems to be running a fully native 1920 by 1080 display on the Xbox One and is paired with a very good temporal AA solution to mask pixel shimmer and frequency concerns across the snow-capped streets. Now, I haven't had a chance to analyse all of the pixel counting. It does take a bit of time to get a definite count, but it certainly looks like a native display from my first check. This does give a softer look and is a very similar looking solution to SMAA and is likely what is being used here with the Team Zone tweaks, but I will cover more of this across this and other formats after more time with them all. Overall, the presentation is very clean, and although not an immediate stunner when you enter the game, its aim of a far more realistic and physically based lighting model means it aims for accuracy rather than hyper-realised movie looks. But with the game's real-time lighting system allowing dynamic light sources, including volumetric light, which is used in abundance here, with its day cycle delivering some great moments as the low sun glares off the snow or the rising sun rays reach down deserted streets as you loom from a rooftop. Have the team's original promises from their own Snowdrop engine, subtle guys, subtle, have been delivered here, and after my hands-on preview from last year, has it actually improved? The answer is maybe, and a resounding yes. It certainly has a fully dynamic lighting model and can deliver both sumptuous and realistic moments as both illuminance and luminous flux lighting comes into contact with its material shaders as light is bounced around the derelict military zone. This includes other nice features in conjunction with its image-based lighting model. Its particle system allows smoke to receive light and shadows from multiple sources and looks very accurate in play, from steam billowing from manhole covers and pipes. Screen space reflections are still in use on the Xbox One version from my last play and the game's initial tease. As yet, I have not been able to test the dynamic shader system that is affected by the environment in sun or other heat sources, which will include snow as it falls from the game's weather system and the particle system as you walk through the city. So far, the presentation is flawless, and the game's impeccable use of light with global illumination and a great expanse of volumetric is really the single factor in why it can look so impressive, and along with the PBR shading process means it can look less impressive at times and more so at others. Expect strong light sources, night, dusk, etc., and storms to be the real wow moments as you play, but the bright sunshine mixed with HDR bloom, colour saturation, tone mapping, depth of field with circle of confusion, hexagon bokeh, which stands out most in the game's real-time cinematics, or when entering the game's vast and very impressive menu options, which include a good portion of visual tweaking for console gamers, a nice touch and a very commendable one from the team to allow both visual post-effects changing and anti-aliasing scaling. I will cover this in more detail in my forthcoming videos and articles. Now, in terms of performance, we're looking at an incredibly stable look here. Now, these are only the early sections of the game that you're looking and tested, and I will test more sections and bigger firefights, including the much heavier dark zones later in my full weekend look at all versions across the beta. But we're looking at a 30 FPS target here on the Xbox One with an adaptive V-Sync in place, which causes some tearing which can cover the whole vertical sync of the screen. But these are rare so far, with only occasional drops with a ultimately very minimal low of 28, which is the tearing across the screen when heavy light sources and volumetric light kicks in. In later firefights, this can get a little bit more frequent as volumetric light and AI kicks in, but it isn't really bad, and because it's allowed to tear, it keeps the response time quite consistent, and we're not seeing very heavy lows at all. It is a very commendable performance so far for a beta. but I will cover this in more detail when I cover the rest of the games and the versions. That's it for now. Please watch a few more minutes of footage, and I'll see you very soon on the next one.
Warning, hostile forces approaching.
Dispatch, situation outside is now under control. My official report, the division saved our sorry asses.
Thanks for the report, Bravo Squad. Stay alert out there and keep it frosty. I'm glad you made it.
Now let's rebuild our base. Go on in and have a look around. I finally got some transportation, so I'm inbound. Let's do this.